NBA as Knicks owner James Dolan has fired head coach David Fizdale just 1.25 seasons into his 4-year, $22 million deal to coach the New York Knicks. This came after last night's 37-point blowout loss to the Nuggets, their second straight loss of at least 35 points. By the way, Mike Miller, the longtime college coach in his first season as an assistant coach of the Knicks, he has been named the interim coach of the Knicks. That's just in. Mike Miller, the interim coach. Think about this. James Dolan, he took over full control as owner of the Knicks 20 years ago. Since then, look at this list. He's had 12 full-time and interim head coaches. Only a couple of them, Mike Woodson, Mike D'Antoni, Lenny Wilkens, and Jeff Van Gundy. Those are the only 4 that took them to the playoffs. Now, we shall see who is next, holding on to that role full-time for the Knicks. Let's get some reaction now from Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A., just 7 short months ago, you and many others in New York were excited about the possibility of KD, Kyrie, Zion saving this franchise. None of that happened. Your head coach is now fired. What's your reaction?
That it's a disaster, that it's an unmitigated mess that seems to have no ending in sight. James Dolan, since he has resided over this franchise, they have the worst losing. They have the worst winning percentage in the entire NBA, winning just 40% of their games. He's had about 11 or 12 different head coaches. It's just a moribund franchise, to say the least. And obviously, Steve Mills is somebody that's well-liked and shockingly is considered an upgrade from Phil Jackson, considering how Phil Jackson was asleep at the wheel running basketball operations. But nevertheless, certainly not more impressive. I thought they made the wrong decision, and it wasn't to knock David Fizdale in any way because he can coach, and I don't think he was given enough to work with. I definitely think he got a raw deal, and it's a damn shame that he presided over the franchise as coach. But as I stated on many, many occasions, he was the wrong guy for the job because the only guy for the job, in my estimation, is someone with New York roots. When they open their mouth, not only do you believe what they have to say, but you're inclined to give them the benefit of the doubt because they're one of your own. In most instances, that would not be what you want in a head coach. That wouldn't be the criteria. But the New York Knicks job is not most situations. It's working under the stewardship of James Dolan.
Quick question for you, though, because does it matter who the head coach is if the roster is as it's built now, where you don't have the talent no matter who the head coach is, right?
No, you're right. You're right. That it wouldn't matter. But understand why I'm talking about the head coaching position the way that I am. If it's someone with New York roots that you're inclined to listen to, that individual rallies New Yorkers to give them the benefit of the doubt, thus forcing the likes of Steve Mills and James Dolan to capitulate to their wishes as opposed to the coach having to capitulate to what they want and finding a way to work around the parts that are given to them. Instead, what you'd be inclined to do is lean towards giving that coach what he wants because he has the New York community and Knicks fans everywhere, at least a few that are left in existence, to support the team. That's the problem. Yeah. There's no reason to compel somebody to really, really listen to the coach because you're stuck on the fact that Dolan is the owner and Steve Mills is his guy as president of basketball operations, but neither of them are the face of the franchise. It's the person that's speaking to the media all the time and talking to them. Remember, Sage, when Carmelo Anthony was here, Carmelo Anthony was left to give quotes more so than the actual coach because nobody would care what anybody else had to say. That's how bad it is with the New York Knicks organization, and there seems to be no end in sight.
Fizdale, no matter who is at the helm there, it does start at the top. Meantime, the players still have to go out there. They're only quarter way through the season. They host the Pacers Saturday, then they go on the road out west for 4 games. Stephen A. Smith, thanks for joining us with the latest on the firing of David Fizdale in New York. Kevin?
All right.
Sage, conference.